this one.
Hey guys, I just lost my job.
The Doordash girl got indicted. Do we want to see the Doordash girl? Eh? Well, yes, yeah. Andrew put out something about the Doordash girl. If you guys remember this is the girl that she did DoorDash. She DoorDashed to some guy's house. The guy was passed out drunk with his pants down on his couch, and she basically let herself into his house, videotaped him, then left and was like, "Oh, that was fucked up," and then posted on the internet. And the victim, because she claimed that the door was open and she just poked her head in, when she actually fully opened the door. She actually went up, opened the door physically, and went inside, and it got caught on his Ring camera. And so he made a police report. She got arrested. She was crying, she made multiple videos crying about playing victim, was like crying about DoorDash firing her, etc., etc. And she got arrested. She went in front of a judge. And I think she got moved to a different court. She had an arraignment at a local court, and it got moved to a different court. So I can't remember if it was to upgrade it to felony charges or to give her more a significant punishment should she be found guilty. And I guess this is an update in regards to that. So let's take a look-see.
Hey guys, I just lost my job. The police are doing nothing. This is a man's world. I'm the victim. Remember? I'm the victim.
Yeah. Yes,
Olivia Henderson, aka Doordash Girl, is absolutely finished after her criminal indictment has come down, and now she's going to have some major legal consequences. We're going to talk about that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest.
By the way, can I just say, it is finally, fucking finally, one of these screeching, terminally online SJRs that decided to fuck around. Finally, we're starting to see a little bit of find out here. Finally, people like this realize that if they post shit like this online, there's gonna be fucking consequences for it. More of this needs to happen. A whole fucking lot more of this needs to happen.
In legal news. So for those that may have missed it, this is our defendant here today, Olivia Henderson. She is the DoorDash girl, and she became quite famous when she entered she essentially pushed open the door on a house that she was delivering DoorDash to, and she saw a man inside that was half naked. Now he was passed out from alcohol consumption, as the facts will later go.
That's up.
Now, bear in mind, the way she filmed that, she was acting like, oh, the door was already that ajar. I could see him from the front porch. And Andrew might go into this. The Ring camera shows that she actually walked up. The door was closed, and she physically opened the door in order to see him. It wasn't just propped. It wasn't just swinging open freely like that. She actually opened a closed door to see this.
But indeed, Olivia claimed, hey, this man SA'd me, right? And this guy was out here SAing me, and therefore the police need to come. Everybody needs to pay me. I need to be, I'm the victim here. She claimed me to be victim.
I'm the victim. Remember? I'm the victim.
Well, despite her Me Too-esque claims, it in fact was her who ended up getting in criminal trouble because...
And by the way, can I just point out, this bitch is the exact reason why is one of the key reasons why the Believe All Women movement died a glorious death. Is because of, not specifically her, but because of SJRs like her that basically want to play victim for attention, and they actually orchestrate circumstances for them to play the victim when they're actually the offender. It's women like this that nobody believes women anymore. This is why, when women come forward saying that they were assaulted, the immediate thought now is, oh, they're lying for clout. They're lying for clicks. They're lying so they can get attention online. And nobody fucking believes these women anymore. If you want to point to the type of person where, as to a reason why, like, female victims may not want to come forward because they don't think that they'll be believed. Like we were talking about yesterday, why does it take women so long to step forward when they get assaulted in some way? And even men, when they get assaulted in some way, why do victims hesitate to come forward? Is because bitches like this have basically ruined that, credibility for victims. And now, whenever a victim comes forward, the first blush thought is not, oh, that poor victim. We need to support this person because they're a victim. Now, the first thought is, okay, they're clearly lying because they want clicks. They, in some cases, if they're on a platform that facilitates it, yeah, they might want donos. They want attention. They want that sweet, sweet clout because they're terminally fucking online. And it's going to take a long fucking time to get back to the point where if someone comes forward claiming to be the victim of an assault, particularly a woman, that people are not going to out of pocket go, I don't believe you. It's going to take fucking years to turn this around.
Of this. So Miss Henderson here, Olivia Henderson, was arrested after recording and posting images of the man on
Do Iceland come forward because nobody will believe them and nobody will listen to them? Partially agree, but also partially they know they're not going to get justice. So it's partially that they don't think that people will, it's partially that they think people will not believe them, which heartbreakingly is true. Many people will not believe a man if he comes forward and claims to be the victim of abuse. Or if they do believe him, they'll call him a pussy, which fuck you if you're going to do that. And then if they do actually manage to get past that disbelief or calling him names and actually does manage to get it into court, the judge is just going to be like, you're a fucking man. Forget it. If there is a guilty verdict, nothing punishment, get out of here and stop wasting my time. Yeah, like men, I fully agree that men are behind the 8 ball in cases of abuse. They are. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting that that basically society and the criminal justice system, I can't fucking conceive of the fact that men can be victims. That's horrible. And it's one reason why the majority of male victims never come forward. Female victims have it bad enough because there's an issue of people believing them in the first place, and there's a shame involved. It's probably even doubly so for men because not only is there the shame of being a victim, the shame of being defiled in some way, but men also have the social stigma that they have to contend to. With women, if you are a victim of assault, yes, you have the personal shame you feel, the disgusting violation that you feel, which can mentally prevent you from wanting to come forward. But when a woman does come forward and is able to overcome those barriers, generally speaking, women will get support for being the victim if she's being honest. If she's being honest and being truthful about what occurred, women will often receive a good amount of support being a victim of an assault. Men, they're not going to get any support. And in fact, quite the opposite. By default, every man will probably be made fun of before they'll ever get any support, and they'll get no justice either. So, like, anytime there's talk about, a woman's hesitating to come forward because of, she doesn't think that she'll be believed, ask the same question about a man, and it's going to be doubly so. It will. And that needs to be pointed out because if we can remove the stigma of men being victims, if we can remove like the bullshit social knee-jerk reaction of, oh, pussy, then maybe more men that are victims will actually come forward and get the justice that they deserve. And that also applies doubly to changing the courts as well.
Was arrested after recording and posting images of the man on TikTok. So she took those images, took those video, posted on TikTok. It got all around, right? People.
Okay, I'm pausing a lot. The one guy that Nina Lynn was made fun of because of her. Actually, that's different. The guy that Nina Lynn assaulted did not get, at least to my understanding, he didn't really get made fun of. The guy that Nina Lynn and the other, ghetto rat that assisted in assaulting that guy, and for the life of me, I still cannot remember his name. I hate the fact that I cannot remember this guy's name. But the guy that she assaulted on, her and her ghetto rat friend assaulted on stream, there was overwhelming support for him because he had actually been the victim of sexual assault as a child. And so this was a very traumatizing event, and he received an overwhelming amount of support, I would say. He is, alas, the exception to the rule. The amount of outpouring of support that he got was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But granted, I think it's largely because Nina Lynn his case got overshadowed by the Emmer thing. No, I don't think it did. No, it did, because his thing happened well before Emmer's thing. His case received a good deal of attention. But unfortunately, I think part of the reason why he got such attention is because, let's be honest, Nina Lynn is a ghetto rat bitch. Okay, Nina Lynn is one of the most unlikable female streamers on the platform. So it made it very easy for people to come out in support. And if one of you guys can remember this man's name, please, for the love of God, remind me of this name, because I cannot remember his name to save my life. And I hate the fact that I cannot remember his name. But it's people came out in droves offering support to him because he's a previous victim of sexual assault, because he has PTSD from this and was subjected to it again, and the fact that Nina Lynn is a objectively horrible person. Nobody likes her. She's a ghetto rat piece of shit. And so in that circumstance, it made it easier to support the man, the victim in that, because the offender was an unlikable piece of shit. That's why it made it so much easier to support him. It shouldn't take having the offender being such an unlikable cunt to come out in support of a male victim. It shouldn't take that. And we need to make that change. Now, granted, this woman, is basically, if you really want to look at it, the way she was, if you want to go by her definition, the Doordash girl, she claims she was sexually assaulted by simply seeing a penis by a guy that was passed out on the couch, and the fact that he was passed out on the couch with his pants down and his dick wagging around, and she's gonna claim I was assaulted. Okay, by her logic, then he was sexually assaulted by her. By her own logic, the fact that she forced entry, and it was forced entry because she opened the door without his consent, so she made unlawful entry, because she made unlawful entry, resulting in him being exposed to her when he may not have wanted that to occur. She actually sexually assaulted him. So let's flip the fucking script. She's the one that actually did the sexual assault, not him.
So she took those images, took those video, posted on TikTok. It got all around, right? People were able to see the man, see his house. In the original video, his house number was visible. So you had all of that visible, exposing his location, his person, him while he's passed out unconscious.
I'm going to keep telling my story. This is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man and having posted that video, and it has gone viral. Now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he
This is the funniest part. All she's doing is giving the prosecution evidence. That's the greatest part about this. She's giving the prosecution and this man's civil attorney or evidence with every post she made. She hasn't been posting a lot. In fact, I think she got banned off of TikTok. At least once. I don't know if she still is. She's literally handing the criminal prosecuting attorney and the civil attorney, she's handing them evidence on a silver platter to literally destroy her. And yes, this is 100% fatherless behavior. You say her dad didn't spank her enough. I'm gonna wager she didn't even have a father present in her life. This is the behavior of someone who did not have a father in her life to instill discipline and good morals on her. I will bet you she came from a single mother home, or mom, was, dating a bunch of people. She has a dad. Is it her actual dad? Is it her actual dad? Is his stepfather? Was he a father figure to her? Like, this behavior comes about by people that do not have a proper father figure in her life. You escorted her from the court on her hearing. Well, I would question how much was he in her life during her upbringing. Because this is behavior that's indicative to not having a proper father figure in your life. Like, even if dad was, like, fair, was he fair in the way that he just kind of just sat there and let mom raise her and didn't actually have a hand in raising her? I would expect.
You know what I'm saying?
So she was arrested on that back last year, and it's been quite a while, but she was finally indicted by a grand jury that's just citizens that are drafted
felonies.
out to
There
do the
we
indictment
go.
instead of the district attorney. There's kind of those two different methods of bringing an indictment on 2 felonies, one of unlawful surveillance and another of distribution of the unlawful surveillance image. And that's absolutely huge news, and that's absolutely something that was breaking right now. But one thing that very few people are talking about, we're going to talk about today on The Legal Mindset, is the massive civil liability she now clearly has under New York state law.
Okay, yes, she has a massive civil liability. Here's a bit of a problem. She probably has no money. She's a Doordasher. My guess is she probably has fuck all for assets. So, realistically speaking, suing her is going to get the victim nothing. As much as I would like to see her sued into oblivion, she's kind of already there. And there's nothing, civilly speaking, there's nothing for the victim to get out of her. He's going to have to kind of be satisfied with he's going to kind of have to be satisfied with whatever he gets out of the criminal case. Guard his wages. She's not working for Doordash anymore. Doordash fired her when this happened. Back when this originally happened, Doordash fired her. So she's not working for Doordash anymore. And my guess is the only job she's going to be able to get is a minimum wage piece of shit job. And what are you going to get from that in a civil suit? Doordash, she opened up Doordash liability? No, she didn't. No, she didn't. That's a misconception. Doordash realistically does not have civil liability because Doordash did not tell her to go into the house. It is not Doordash procedure. At no part does Doordash instruct their dashers to make entry into the home. It's either knock on the door or you leave the food at the door and leave. There's no part of Doordash that says go into a home. Yeah, okay. You're saying it's in fact against Doordash policy. So she basically violated Doordash policy. So no, unfortunately, Doordash is not on the hook. Is not on the hook for this, nor should they be. This bitch did on her own. She did nothing she did nothing in accordance with Doordash policy. She actually violated it. So filing a civil suit against Doordash would be a frivolous endeavor and would be a waste of money.
Let's get right into it. So let's look at the indictment and the charges that kind of rolled down. So here you see the file from the New York State with Olivia Henderson, birth year 2002. You see the indictment, the incident was on October 12th, 2025. The arrest was in November by Oswego City Police. Her defense attorney, she's going with the public defender's office. She does not have anything but a public defender at this point. And obviously the assistant district attorney is on the other side of that with her next appearance there in May. So all of that's coming up. She's got this indictment, which means, hey, a grand jury felt there was enough evidence to proceed on this, to bring her to trial. And what that also means to me is not only is this going to go forward with felonies, but also there's potential civil liability. Now, why do I think that's a big thing? That's a huge thing because this is her first time offense for the criminal charges. Those will probably be light. As much as everyone wants to say this might be 8 years in prison, etc., it won't be.
No, it's
this
not.
This will probably be
It's
a slap on the wrist at best with probation.
Holy hell. Hi, a double. Celestium. Hi. Hello, Celestium. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. How are you? How was your stream? Did you call it early? This is early for you, Celestium. Are you feeling okay? You were only streaming for like, what, 2 hours? Are you feeling okay, honey? Is your feeling okay? Welcome in. You're okay, you're just hungry. Okay. Okay, well, how was your stream? Did you have fun at least? Did you have fun? She was hungry. Okay. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Thank you so much for the raid, Bean. Thank you very much. And welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in. We are talking. We're about halfway through looking at the what's happening with the Doordash girl that you guys may remember out of New York, who basically entered a customer's home, videotaped him, passed out drunk on the couch with his pants down around his ankles, and then tried to claim that she was SA'd by witnessing this, and it was revealed that she actually broke into his home and got arrested for it. Yes. She's been indicted. She's been indicted on 2 felony charges, and Andrew's now going over what could potentially be in store for her. You know, temper your expectations. This is her first offense, so chances are, criminally speaking, her punishment will be probably rather light. But now he's going to start getting into the civil implications, which I'm legitimately curious about because realistically, civilly, I don't think that the victim would be able to get much from her because being a DoorDash driver, she's got a public defender. She doesn't even have her own private attorney, so she has no money. So civilly, he's not going to be able to get anything out of her. So I'm kind of curious where Andrew's going to go on this in terms of what the options are civilly.
Etc. It won't be. This will probably be a slap on the wrist at best with probation or a split sentence. The criminal charges.
No, he can't. You may not have been in this room when I said that. He's not going to be able to sue DoorDash. She directly violated DoorDash policy. DoorDash policy actually says do not enter uninvited into a customer's home. That is a direct violation of DoorDash policy. So DoorDash is blameless, as they should be. DoorDash has no responsibility here whatsoever. She basically went rogue, did this all on her own, and so DoorDash is not liable in this in any way, shape, or form. Now, and they immediately terminated her contract as soon as this occurred. Now, if DoorDash wanted to step up and make things right with the customer in some way, just to say, which they may not, their lawyers may tell them not to, but if that would be totally different. But legally, DoorDash is not liable for this in any way, shape, or form.
Slap on the wrist at best with probation or a split sentence. The criminal charges are honestly going to be a joke when it comes down to it, and she's probably going to enter into a plea deal. But when you look at the civil side and the potential civil liability, particularly under the special New York law that nobody has talked about so far, that is absolutely going to destroy her. So, turning over to that, after we look at the charges here, once again, the dissemination of a surveillance video and the unlawful surveillance, when we turn over to the massive liability, we look at New York Civil Rights Law, Section 52B. This is for allowing a private right of action for non-consensual dissemination of intimate images, otherwise known as, people know it as revenge porn. Now, this statute is not just for stuff posted online. It's not just for ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends. It's really for any sort of image that is being posted without somebody's consent. And it covers directly on point secret recording like this. This is something that fits spot on with this and the posting of unclothed bodies without consent. And mind you, this situation, it's very interesting because of the genders and people not coming to think of this. But if the genders had been flipped here, if that had been a woman inside and a male Doordash driver, certainly I think people would have thought about this civil liability right away. But
if the genders had been reversed, people would have, number one, people would have been screaming for the guy to be burned at the stake. Let's make that nice and sparkling clear. If it had been a guy recording a woman, he would be probably held over. He'd be labeled as a sex offender. People would be screaming for him to be burned at the stake, and the court would throw the fucking book at him. The court would throw the book at him. He'd probably do prison time. He'd probably have to register as a sex offender. His job would have fired him. He would have been blacklisted for probably any other job, and the woman would have been given everything. Let's not fuck with this here. It would be a huge disparity in how justice was carried out if the genders were reversed, and that's a travesty. It should not fucking matter what the gender of the offender is versus what the gender of the victim is in this kind of case. Treat, fucking SJRs, you want equality, that's in that equality, it's in your fucking DEI mandate, so you know what? Treat this woman exactly as if a man had done this to a woman. Treat it the fucking same. She should have, it would have been proper for her to get a good roasting. It would have been proper for the judge to throw the fucking book at her. It would have been proper for her to register as a sex offender if she's found guilty. None of that's going to happen, unfortunately, even though it should have. And if it had been a man, yes, a man would have had to register as a sex offender. Guarantee. So go, you want equality? You give fucking equality. And it's not going to happen, but it damn well should.
But I think perhaps people thought, okay, because it's a man and there's essay thrown out, there's this kind of Me Too-esque allegation, we're not going to think about this. But this is very, very direct and very, very on point. And this allows for massive injunctive relief, compensatory damages, punitive damages, and attorney's fees. And because of that, this will absolutely ruin her life. So let me jump over to my judgment.
I'm curious.
Olivia is likely going to enter a plea deal or a verdict with a light sentence as a first-time offender. The felonies are not going to land her 8 years in prison. She'll probably get a couple months at best. More likely, she's going to get probation and some sort of time outside of prison, maybe community service, etc. She's not going to be serving the 8 years. However, if this man brings a civil lawsuit using this law, and we're just talking about this one law, they could potentially recover $500,000 in compensatory damages and up to $2 million in punitive damages just on this. That's kind of an average outcome when you've got something that has gone viral, that has been widespread on the internet, that exposes his name, very intimate, obviously intimate details, his location, etc. All of those factors point to a massive claim. And not only that.
Okay, yeah, it all sounds good. But again, she's not going to have $5,000 for compensatory damages. She doesn't have $2 million for punitive damages. They can garnish her wages all they want, but okay, so $50 gets taken out of her paycheck when she actually has a job. Big fucking deal. Yeah, okay, you can say oh yeah, she can have her life ruined by the civil proceedings, but if the person has no money, and I guarantee you she has no money, does she own her own home? Probably not. She probably has an apartment. She was door dashing for a living. People that have money do not door dash for a living. They don't. She doesn't have many. Well, but the money is the issue in the deterrence. I understand what you're saying, but money is actually the issue in a deterrence factor. Because if you have no money in the first place, filing a civil suit against her is going to do nothing. It's not going to do a deterrent because she has no money to actually give him. You know what's actually going to be a deterrent? Is if she has to spend a couple years in fucking prison. That's what's going to be a deterrent. You actually throw the bitch in the box and let her rot for a couple years. You guys are saying, plea bargains need to go the fuck away. Yeah, I agree. Actually, send her to prison, make her do labor. Have her pick up trash for the have her pick up trash in a prison jumpsuit and an orange vest on a chain gang for the next 2 to 3 years. Have her turn big rocks into little rocks. Have her force her to do customer support from the prison computer library for 15 cents a day. Like, actually punish her. That's how people will learn. The civil thing, if she actually had money and lost it all, if she had this kind of money that could be taken from her, absolutely, I'd say do that. But she doesn't have money, so it's not going to be a deterrent because the judge might rule, okay, I'm awarding punitive damages. Your wages will be garnished when, she's maybe working a minimum wage job. So she's going to get maybe 20 or 50 bucks garnished out of each paycheck. That's not going to be a deterrent. Actually punishing her with prison and labor in prison, that's a deterrent. In this case, I know I always say if you want to make someone hurt, you hit them in the wallet, but those are for like the big corporations. The big corporations don't feel pain unless you hit them in the wallet. For someone like this that either doesn't have a job or has a minimum wage job where they're not even earning money anyway, and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna garnish those wages. I mean, that's not gonna do fuck all. It's in this case with someone like this, it's prison that is going to do something. That is what is actually going to do harm, like not harm. It will. This is something that might actually make her think, gee, I don't want to spend the net. I don't want to do another 3 years turning big rocks into little rocks or picking up trash on the side of the highway while being embarrassed wearing a prison jumpsuit and a vest or spending 8 hours a day offering customer support, which honestly, that's a beautiful punishment right there. Make someone work customer support for 8 hours a day and pay them 15 cents a day. That's a beautiful fucking punishment right fucking there. But yeah, exactly. You can't hit them in the wallet if they don't have a wallet to begin with. So that's why in this instance, the criminal punishment will far outweigh the civil punishment in this specific incidence.
His location, etc. All of those factors point to a massive claim. And not only that, but this is very similar to the case of Vitaly, where Vitaly defamed someone, calling them made a criminal accusation, much as she made that Me Too-esque allegation about SA. In that case,
okay, I'll let him go over the case because this one I saw this and it's fucking disgusting. I'll let him go over the case.
And when we're comparing the two, in both cases, you have potential defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Those both apply here. Same in the...
Okay, he's not going to go over it. The case he's talking about with Vitaly is Vitaly was doing like a to catch a predator kind of thing. And basically him and his people tried to like catfish a supposed child predator and they got the wrong fucking guy. They confronted a guy who had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and they harassed the living fuck out of him. They terrified him because they surrounded him and were screaming at him that he's a predator. They were insulting him because he was Indian. They're like, you're an Indian. You probably know how to lie. You probably know how to make fake accounts. Like they were basically flat out being racist to this guy who is an innocent victim. And so they terrified him. They were racist to him. And they're like, oh, we got the wrong guy. By the way, that resulted in Vitaly getting banned off of Kick. Good on Kick for that one. But the difference there is Vitaly actually has money. The guy suing Vitaly, and he is going to sue him, and he is going to win. The big difference there is Vitaly actually has money that the victim can get in a substantial amount. In this case, the offender has no money. And in this particular case, the civil complaint on it is kind of useless.
Vitaly case, and same over here. So if you pile that on top of the liability under 52B, you're looking at potential multi-million-dollar lawsuit here that could absolutely ruin her. So I think in my conclusion that she absolutely deserves the maximum punishment. And this is something that needs to happen so that copycats don't try to do the same thing or try to post this information online. I think should be absolutely discouraged. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. and I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you guys have got your Cabbage plushies. They are still available now. You can get them at the link in the description and the link in the pinned comments. They are super soft, super cute, and they absolutely enrage Cabbage Boy, Ramsey, Kalita, Smile, Johnny, Somali. So get your cabbages now.
Again, in this particular instance, the deterrent is jail. That's the deterrent in this case, because the majority of people that do this kind of thing, the majority of people that do this kind of thing, 100% don't have money. And if they don't have money, then you need to go to you need to put them in the box. The box is what will teach them. And not Sybil. But again, that is this specific case with this specific type of offender who doesn't have any money for you to sue them for in the first place.